I want to welcome to Talking Wealth David Galtieri. Now, David is an information and communications technology professional with more than 30 years experience across software development, industrial control systems, financial services, artificial intelligence, property development, and large-scale infrastructure delivery, and so much more. He has led major ICT and infrastructure projects for organisations including Shell, BP, Macquarie Bank, Boral, Inside Tech, Pivot, and more. So today, David and I talk about how small to medium enterprises can win big with AI strategy and tools. David, welcome to Talking Wealth. How are you today?
Great, Dale. Thank you for having me. Very good.
I know. I've been trying to get you in for ages because AI is this whole catchphrase now. Everybody's talking about AI in some manner. And it's sort of like, it's an elephant to a lot of people. Like, what is it? How does it relate to me?
Yep.
But you've been in business a gazillion years. I mean, I first met you back in the 90s or something.
It's been 23, 24 years, I think.
Something like that since I met. But you've launched a new company specialising in AI and helping small to medium businesses, correct?
Correct. Yes.
What's your company name?
So it's called DepthNode.
DepthNode?
DepthNode, and it was launched basically about 18 months ago with the view to actually look at how we could help business introduce AI to, or how we could introduce AI into business and how business could make use of AI in a real simple way.
Because I know I've got multiple small to medium businesses. I'm not saying big ones, small to medium.
Yeah,
one I've got. But you know, and yes, I'm on the wrong side of being born in the 2000s. I'm on the way on the left-hand side of that. You know, young kids they're brought up with phones and everything and AI and stuff, so they're picking it up really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
But people like myself, we're going, oh, how do I generate ROI? I understand AI might be replacing jobs, etc., but how do I bring that into my business and make sure I get a measurable return on my investment for doing so? So how do I actually do that?
Yeah, okay, so great question and a great way to sort of get started, because one of the biggest issues with AI is the lack of understanding, and people are certainly scared of it. They fear that doing the wrong thing with AI could actually be bad rather than good. And look, let's be frank. You know, AI,
like going down a black hole with technology.
Absolutely, because AI is one of those areas where there's a lot of fear around about it as well. So it's certainly used in good methods, but there are those, scrupulous characters that we've got, the scammers and the hackers. They're also using AI to benefit them. But what I'm saying to small and medium business owners, and I'm not really looking forward on, let me say, I'm not going for the large billion-dollar businesses because they've got their AI teams, they've got their tech teams, but it's the small and medium business that you were saying before. You know, we're born on the other side of 2000, so how do we implement that? And one of the easiest ways to get started is to look at some sort of AI strategy.
Yep.
And even something simple that, look, if you're running a business today and you've got people working for you, I can tell you right now, they're using AI, and you probably don't even know about it.
Yes.
And more than often, I now talk to people. More often, I talk to people. They're telling me, "Oh yeah, I just get my email. I drop it into ChatGPT. I ask it to write me a reply, and I send it off." And then, of course, my next question is, "Well, hang on a minute. So, are you allowed to do that for work?" "Oh no, my boss doesn't even know I'm doing it. I just do it because it's so good. It just makes it more efficient." I said, "That's great, but do you have a paid version of an AI system?" "Oh, I don't know. No, I just use my private account." Is it a paid private account is it a free account or a paid account?" "Oh no, it's one of those free ones." "Well, do you realise that with a free AI service, you're actually uploading potentially private information, and then that information could be put into the public domain?"
Well, I know we do a lot of IT training. Our IT company make us do these lessons every single month about scamming, phishing, blah, blah, blah. And the last one was on AI and saying don't necessarily trust what comes to you.
Correct.
Because where the data's going is up into wherever it is, because obviously each business has its own intellectual property, and obviously we're in financial services, and you very well know that area as well.
Yes.
And, it's about customer data and making sure everything stays private. So you're saying there's a huge risk around that.
There is a risk around that if you're not careful about it. And so especially using these free AI services, you don't know where the data is going. At least if you've got a paid service, it's a different set of terms of service, a different privacy statement that they work under, and your data is more secure. So one of the things that we've made sure in our business in DepthNode is that all of our AI services are enterprise level services. So organisations that decide to come and use our offering, everything they put all the data they upload into our services, they're assured of data integrity, data sovereignty and security. But if you're working for an organisation that doesn't have an AI strategy, that's where problems begin. So the first step is, let's implement an AI strategy. Now, whether it's with me or whether it's with anybody else, you might have an IT guru working for you. So have them look at your business and have them look at how the business operates, in the sense that where are the areas where AI can be used, how is it being used if it is, and what are the boundary conditions on which AI is utilised. So that's step one. Step two is also realising that one of the most important things is to get your business processes, your internal business processes right. Because one of the things that AI does is it scales things up. But if you've got problematic business processes, it will scale that. Okay. So you want to get your business processes right and then use AI to upscale those.
Gotcha.
All right?
Yep. No, I was just, and while you're talking about it, I was just remembering I watched a video recently from some AI person. And then about 2 weeks ago, I had luncheon, a business sort of luncheon, really nice at the Geelong Club. If you've never been, it was beautiful. It was
That's good.
a hatted chef and French. So if you're ever down in Geelong, go there.
Okay.
And I was sitting next to this guy who's been in payment systems like Tyro, and he works with companies bring their payment systems, big, large ones. And he was talking about AI, and he was saying to me, he said, you can get AI now that connects to your SharePoint and can only access your data within there and all your business data to help you answer questions for things and help with those business processes and everything else. And I was like, wow, that's pretty good too.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the areas where larger business and especially corporate, especially those who are Microsoft sort of shops, right? So a Microsoft, an organisation that uses Microsoft 365 or Microsoft infrastructure. So another example, we talked, you've mentioned an example. So this is, interestingly enough, I had a client speak to me recently, and they're going for a new position, and it was in sales. So this was like a global sales position. And they had to, in a very short period of time, produce like a budgetary summary to pitch to the board of directors. And he was quite frustrated at how little time he had to gather. And he had about 20 reports that needed to be analysed to produce this summary board pitch. So I said, okay, you're a Microsoft shop, obviously. Let's have a look at what tools you have. Do you have access to Microsoft Copilot Studio or just Copilot Pro? He was not sure, had no idea. So we logged into his system, had a look, and he had Copilot Pro. Great. So I said, okay, you haven't got Studio, but you've got Pro, which means at least that everything we do now is secure in your Microsoft tenancy.
Oh, good.
Okay, great. So I said, take those 20 reports that you've got and let's upload them. And in simple, plain English, let's tell Copilot what you need to do. And so he wrote a couple of sentences of what he needed to do. I think it took about 15 to 20 seconds and it churned out a Microsoft Word document, which we downloaded, and I got him to review it. He just froze for a moment. And I said, are you okay? And he said, David, this is the exact pitch that I've got to do. It's done it all.
Wow.
And I said, right, okay, what you need to do now is go through it in detail and make sure that the numbers marry up, that the details are right,
Yep.
and that there's no, rubbish in there, nothing made up, right? And so he was blown away by something like that, so simple, yet if it wasn't that, because there was sensitive data in these documents.
Well, there would have been sales data.
Yeah, there was sales data, sales regions. As I said, it took an entire. It was Australia only, but it was a lot of information. And if somebody had dropped that into a public GPT AI service,
then it was on the web for anybody.
then it would have been. That's right. It could have been used for training in the future, for training in the next AI.
So basically, what you're saying is every business should start. The first step, if they're even thinking about bringing AI into the business, because you're already saying it's there anyway, their staff are using it regardless of whether you know it or not. We're sort of like Facebook back in the old days. Every staff had Facebook on all day long until you worked out how to work out that they were already on Facebook and blocked it.
That's
but
right.
same thing. But so set with a strategy because it's being used, so they need to set it in how we're going to use AI. So what are the steps in doing that? What sort of areas do I need to cover to set my AI strategy?
Yeah, okay. So this is where, I've developed a full template that has about 19 areas, and I'm not going to try and remember them all off by heart right here. Come on. But we look at governance, privacy, accessibility, areas of operations in the business. Basically, I really come and ask a person, where are the areas in your business that you think AI can help you? And it's fascinating in the sense that a lot of people understand a little bit about, the word artificial intelligence. Okay, so we're employing something that's intelligent, are we? Well, yeah, it's artificially intelligent. So it's sort of like if you had a really intelligent person working for you, where are the areas that you would like them to work in your business to improve your business? So what are the areas of your business that need improving? And it's, to my surprise, most people tell me the areas that they need to look at. So they know where those areas are already. So it's a matter now of taking each of those areas of their business and then looking at them in a little bit more detail and then and basically breaking down what these areas are, how they can be improved with AI, and what are the simple changes that we can make relatively quickly to a process or to the way that something is being done in that business to actually allow AI to give you the best impact for the simplest implementation.
Okay.
All right.
So basically we work on first fixing the issues in the business and putting those processes and automating as much as we can.
Yeah.
But then to me, that leads us to the second step, scaling it.
Correct. Yeah. So let's you touched on the word automation.
Yep.
Great word to use. Now, automation has been around for donkey's years. Okay. And so a lot of businesses should be using automation wherever they can. Some businesses know how to, some just haven't even ventured down that path, and that's fine. But what AI does to automation is it adds this level of this intelligence to it. And especially now with what we have, and we're all used to, the world changed 30th of November 2022 when OpenAI introduced ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Okay, so this concept of this generative transformer model, all of a sudden these models became so much friendlier because it was like having a conversation. You could literally get Google Gemini Live or ChatGPT Live or any of the others, click the live chat button, and you can have a live conversation with them and you can actually discuss things. So I've done this in the launching my business. I've had a business problem that I needed to resolve. Let's say we actually came across a pretty significant technical issue early on in the business. Yeah. And I thought, you know what, I've got these tools available. Gemini had just launched, Google had just launched Gemini Live, and I thought I was off to a barbecue a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
And I switched on live before getting in the car, of course, because you don't want to touch your phone after you're in the car. And I've started having this 40-minute chat while I was driving from Essendon to Armidale about my business problem. And within half an hour, we had a solution. The AI and I had come up with a solution which to me made perfect sense. I went to this garden barbecue. I could not wait to leave so I could go back home and begin implementing what we had discussed. And that was Saturday. By Sunday afternoon, I had implemented this solution, and then I gave it to my programmers to implement within our system. Now, Dale, I can tell you that if I had tried to do that 15 years ago, it would have taken me 2 months to come up with this solution. And I did it in an afternoon.
Wow.
And that's how AI can help scale. So to come back to your point before, you mentioned automation. A business can implement automations, great, and they should. But now a business can implement intelligent automations. And what's the difference? So if you have an automation that says every month, every Monday morning, 9 a.m, produce this report, and that report may be made up of 5 other reports. Now you could have some logic in that.
Yep.
And the logic could be, if X is greater than Y, then do this. If Y is less than Z, then do that. Great. But now what an automation can do is it can read the report, summarize the report, and based on what's in the report, it can actually go and do its own research and come back with more information that can then be added to the final output that gets emailed to the board of directors every morning on a 9:30 Monday morning.
Wow.
And that's where AI can scale you up.
Because I mean, to me, I did want to talk about conversational AI with you, because that's really what you're talking about.
Yeah.
In talking with it, and I've watched a couple of videos on that, and it just blows me away what it can do. It's your business coach in a box, if I can say that, for want of a lazy way of saying it.
Good word.
But talk on your phone and you're talking to your own business coach. But most people think AI is just, the web chat bot or, that. But obviously we're getting much more intelligent type of conversations out of these widgets, bots, what we put on our website to talk to people, answer questions, answer FAQs, do customer support. And they're just getting smarter and smarter and smarter. And that's really where, to me, is a really good starting spot for my business, because we haven't really had that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good place for me to start. So that's why we're chatting with you anyway. Is that a natural start for everybody, or so they should be someone else?
That is certainly one of the areas. So while you're trying to fix up your processes and build an AI strategy, or at least implement some of the low-hanging fruit, one of the low-hanging fruit is actually these conversational AI assistants, which is an area that we're specialising in, which is conversational AI. So a lot of people use the word chatbot. I don't really like that word, but it's the word that's used, or an AI chat assistant. So by putting one of these assistants on your website, it can start doing things like filtering out leads. So it generates leads, but it can qualify those leads and push through the qualified leads into your pipeline. It can answer the question. So it can be that customer service assistant, at least that frontline customer service assistant. Now, I've had organisations say to me, we've got a small team and I'd rather everybody call in. Well, that's great. And if that's what you want, that's good. But I've also spoken to businesses where they're saying, my team is inundated, we can't keep up, and we're finding that we're missing out on good business because we're dealing with the tyre kickers. So what a conversational AI can do now, and especially if it's sitting on your front website, is that it can ask the questions, it can answer the questions, and then if somebody really wants to know more, it can encourage them to get in touch by asking for their details, by giving them more information, and then by actually taking those details, putting them directly into your sales system, and then your sales team takes over. The other thing with conversational AI is that probably in the future, that's where things will start. Right now, if you want a report, what do? You go into your CRM, or you go into your business system, you click reports, you find this, you get a date range, you click here, you click there, you press go, and it produces a report. In the very near future, what you'll do is you'll simply go to a field where you type in English what you want, and it'll work out how to do it, and it'll give it to you. And there'll be no more clicking here and there and selecting date ranges. So a natural way to start is, and that's why we've built these custom, well, we've built a platform, which you've seen. We've built a platform where you can train your own custom AI interface and put it on your website, but you can also put it on an iPad or on an intranet and give it to your staff. So you can have a trained system that sits on a website, but you can also have an internal system that answers all your staff questions as well.
Mate, I don't know about you, but I'm excited. You've just given me so many more ideas to work on from our business. So
that's great.
You got me busy for a while. I'm going to be your crash test dummy. So watch out, everybody that's been watching this interview. Like literally, we're going to be implementing a lot of stuff that David's been talking about today. So if you're running a business, check out what David's doing on Talking Wealth. But I think I could probably sit there for ages talking a bit more about that and getting it out of your head. But thank you for being on Talking Wealth today.
It's all right. Pleasure, Dale. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.